Today is from Vancouver, Canada. She is a quantum energy healer, certified in QHHT level 2, and she's going to explain to us what QHHT stands for in a minute. She's also certified in pendulum healing and intuitive card reading. She enjoys helping people heal and discover who they truly are, because she believes that we are all connected. And therefore, by helping one person, we help others. Welcome, Kelly Jill Ng. So glad you are here, my friend. At last.
At last, and hello. Thank you for inviting me to be part of your video series.
Okay, my pleasure. So to start with, Kelly, give us a bit of a background on how you ended up studying all these wonderful healing modalities and choosing this path of service. And that's one of my starter question for every guest that comes on the show.
Well, for me, it actually was sort of coincidence, accident, never planned it in my whole life. I am an artist, so I paint and I do photographs and I do any kind of art. Like I can do any kind of art, but didn't really delve into healing. Like I would do a lot of research prior to getting into this because I was concerned about food, nutrition, clean food, all that stuff. And I would watch a lot of documentaries, but never in my life would I have thought that I would do healing. So I would actually look into these modalities. Like I started with pendulum healing because I wanted to help my older daughter who had a lot of health concerns. I wanted to help her heal. And I thought, if I could just help her heal, then, whatever investment I put in these would be worthwhile already. But then she wasn't really as interested in, being a teenager, she's not really interested in all these energy healing stuff. And she's also very scientific. So she's like, there's no basis of this scientifically. So it was kind of hard to convince her. So I'm like, okay, if she doesn't want it, then I'll just put myself out to the world and see who might be interested in healing. So I started doing it for friends and family and, just anybody. But then I started seeing results. So I'm like, oh, wow, this is really working. This is really amazing. So, and especially the emotional part, the emotional healing part, I find that it's really, really related to a lot of things. So just even helping them realize that it's related already helps them. So I started the certification for pendulum healing first, but then right in the middle of it, I got interested in Dolores Cannon's QHHT method. QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis technique. So it's a type of hypnosis that brings you back to your past lives, or sometimes for some people, it's just the present life, but like something that happened to them, or sometimes it's even as odd as a parallel life. Like it seems like the present, but it didn't really happen to you in the present. So it's many different possibilities there. But yeah, so I completed that first before I completed the certification for pendulum healing. I'm not sure why. I guess it was just, there was just more freedom in not completing this, and there was like a timeline for this. So yeah, so strict timelines pushed me to complete this first. And also there was a requirement to like really get as many clients, not practice sessions as possible. So at least 25 for that one. So that really got me engaged with a lot of people and seeing how everything is really related to their state of emotion, their state of being, their emotions and all that stuff. So now what I do is there's this QHHT, which deals a lot with like healing your emotions and letting go of your past baggage and any other things that you may be aware of or you may not be aware of. And then so I also tailored a lot of my pendulum energy healing towards doing that, so that if people can't make it to a live QHHT session, then that will be a really good alternative, or they could do a combination of both, because sometimes, most of the time, a lot of the stuff is healed in QHHT, like within days or even right there. But then, healing is like peeling an onion. It comes in layers. So sometimes it can't be all at once, right? It's especially if people with a lot of baggage, sometimes it can't be all in one session, and it takes time, and you need to release this first before another one can get released. So it's kind of like that. So anyway, I'm not sure if I answered your question. Yeah, I started it for my daughter.
Yeah.
But then just,
was your daughter, what sort of ailment was your daughter experiencing? Could the conventional medicine, did it not help with her problem, her symptoms?
It was a lot of more like, in the beginning, it was more like muscle pain, back pain, like I'm feeling
For a
super
teenager,
exhausted.
for a young teenager,
Oh
she was
yeah,
having
yeah.
aches and pains.
Yes. And recently, in the recent past, it became more serious, and I don't think I want to disclose this over video,
No,
but like
please don't. Why? So,
it became a little bit more serious than that. So like I was actually really happy that I was equipped with all of this knowledge, and to be able to cope during that situation. It's turned around now, finally. I mean, it was like really tough at one point, and it's turned around now, and she's actually off to outdoor ed with her friends right now. So she's back to normal, but there was a point where she couldn't even stay up for more than 2-3 hours a day.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. At least you don't feel as helpless. I can imagine being a parent, like you turn to modern medicine, like you think doctors will be able to solve any medical problem. And if they can't help, and then you feel like you're a bit.
Well, that's the funny thing. We actually went to many Western doctors, and I'm not sure how the system is over there. But the system here is so slow. Like, you need to set up an appointment. It takes several weeks. You need to take tests. It takes another few weeks, so.
Oh, it's the same here because it's NHS, it's free medical care. Is it free over there? Yeah.
It's also free here. So I mean, I'm really more of a holistic person. So I preferred to go the holistic way anyway, but then I'm like, we needed to find, like she was more scientific and she wanted to get a diagnosis. And so we actually never got one. They never were able to figure out what happened to her. So we ended up getting more help from a holistic person, molecular, I forgot what she called herself, but she's a nutritionist. So basically just altering the diet, and she supplemented her with some supplements like iron and stuff like that. She was able to figure it out, and these people were not able to figure it out. No.
Of course you are biased because you've had first-hand experience. You worked with your clients and you've watched them transform, here. And
I think I had a lot of faith. And that made a difference, because probably if I didn't have that experience and if I didn't have the faith, I don't know, it would be completely different.
Right. So can you, Kelly, share with us 1 or 2 interesting stories where you helped your clients to return to health through QHHT, something that's really that comes to mind?
Okay, sure. So like, I won't disclose who they are. I won't go too specific on the situation, but like, people come for many different reasons. And like, I would say, like, somebody came to me once because she had intimacy issues.
Right.
And like what came out when we do the QHHT, we talk for a long time, like probably 2 hours.
I understand it can take 5 hours a session?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because we want the client to be, open about everything, so that when something comes up, I'd be able to help them navigate through it, right? And also ask the right questions when it goes to, when it, otherwise, you get shown a scene and you wouldn't know how to navigate it, right? So having that long interview in the beginning really helps to be able to get the most out of the session. So for example, a client came to me and she had some intimacy issues. And what was shown was that in a past life, she saw herself like as a slave, kind of prostitute. She was like around a bonfire and they were getting branded and they were getting really used and all that. So like she carried all that,
trauma.
Feeling.
Would that be a trauma?
All that trauma. Yeah, all that trauma from a past life like that. So in a session like that, we help her release all this trauma realized that she doesn't need it anymore in this life. You know, she was probably feeling these issues to protect her from re-experiencing those things. So by releasing it and telling subconscious that she doesn't need it in this life because the person that she's with actually loves her and it's not going to hurt her, so she doesn't need to feel that way anymore,
Okay.
then you know, it really helps to process it during the session. And after the session, they get to repeat and listen to their recording and process it. Then all of their fears suddenly just, you know, it just gets off of their body, off their shoulders. And so yeah, so that she's saying that she's actually much better now, without, because like prior to that, she would, like, when it came to intimacy, she would
Yeah.
feel like her body would be shaking and all that stuff. So
Shut
it's really,
down. Yeah, I can
yeah,
imagine. It's like a phobia in some sense, isn't it?
yeah,
You associate man or this intimacy as a threat. So you
exactly,
freeze or you resist and you don't understand why. It's almost on reflex, isn't it? You know, but this
yeah,
is at the energetic level. Oh, well
right.
done.
Yeah, but without knowledge of that, you would wonder what happened to me in this life. Nothing really that traumatic happened to me in this current life. Why
Yeah.
am I reacting this way? Then you feel like something's wrong with you, right? So
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, interesting. And what about you personally? Have you had a peek at your past life?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
Because
tell
we
us
do a lot.
about it if you don't mind. Something glamorous, like, a princess or something, maybe?
No, nothing glamorous like that. But yeah, we do practice sessions with, you know, each other so that we
Yeah.
can continue trying, you know, different things, and, you know, going, and also for our own healing. But yeah, so one of, like, the more interesting ones that I saw was, like, I was once a disciple of Jesus.
You
Um,
what? You were a male?
well, you know, like, I won't identify who, because I don't want to make a big story out of it. But yeah, I was. I was like, the scene that was shown to me was, I was so distressed. Like, I was so distressed when he was about to die, when he was about to be
Oh my
killed, right?
gosh. This
So
is the
I was
first
so
time I'm
distressed.
hearing this, folks. Wow.
I was so distressed and so, I don't know, like, you know, really lost already, because, you know, like, he kind of put your life, I guess, for that purpose, to follow him, and you really loved him.
I
Like, there
can
was really a
imagine. But why
bond
was
and a
that
love.
scene shown to you, though? What is the relevance of that distress with your life today? How is that
I
helpful?
so yeah, so I'll tell you the lesson first before I say that, before I answer
Okay.
your question. So
Ooh.
the lesson that I was shown was, like, I had to refocus my energy to a mission, because I had something more important to do in that life, that I had to continue doing something. And I won't say what that was, but
Yeah.
I'll just say that I had to continue doing something. So I couldn't dwell on this helplessness of not being able to help him. Instead, I needed to refocus and
Oh, makes
push
sense.
forward. Yeah. So,
Mm.
like, sometimes, like, that's how I am in this current life, is because, you know, I always have this mission that, oh, I want to help people, help wake up people. And, you know, it's kind of frustrating that you're not helping people. And it's
The
so minor
typical
compared
light
to,
worker.
right. Yeah. And it's so frustrating. It's so minor compared to, you know, what they had to go through at that time. But yeah, it's basically telling me to refocus. Like, you know, I know, I feel like I have a mission to wake up people and, you know, bring them to this awareness. But then I also have another mission, which is to help people heal and to refocus my energy
Yes.
towards that, and towards helping, because, like, that's not really my forte. Waking up people is not really my forte, because, you know, so many other people are better than that, right? So I mean, it's part of the reason why I'm here, but it's not the main reason. And so I had to refocus and focus on this.
Oh, it makes sense then. Yeah, right. Forget, let go of that guilt and distress and feeling, help that you couldn't help Jesus, being crucified and stuff. And then you carry that over. And that's what you feel a bit powerless, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Says, they say that everybody can be hypnotized. I tried, but I didn't experience anything profound.
Well, it doesn't have to be profound. I mean, any kind of, there's always healing in any kind of. Oh, is that too loud? I have the lawnmower here. Is that too loud?
No, just a blip there. No, nothing. I can't hear it now.
Oh, you can't hear it. Okay, that's good. This is super loud here. Yeah. So anyway, to answer your question, what was your question? I got
My
distracted.
question is say that I always wish I could see with my inner eye when someone tried to take me to a past life. I couldn't be regressed, or at least I didn't think I was being regressed. There was no vision, nothing that I can say, oh, I can see that I'm someone in a rag clothes. This is like a period in the 17th century, that sort of vision. I never got anything like that. No.
Are you more of a left brain or a right brain person?
Or I think I'm more of a left brain, a logical person. Yeah.
Right. I think a lot of people that are left brain have a bit more of a challenge, just because they hold on. The left brain is with regression and hypnosis, we use a lot of our right brain.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to push away your left brain to the side, then it becomes more challenging. And I've had some clients that have done that, and even like some of them are even like, you know, practitioners themselves, right? So but then most of the time people are able to, and the degree of it just depends on how you're able to absorb the flow.
Yeah, they need a few more sessions, you know, longer.
Yeah, and practice always makes a difference. Like some people can't do it the first try, but manage to do it the second try.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just, you know, but most of the time it works. Most of the time it works. And the degree of what you see will just depend on how receptive you are to it. But we always say, just go with the flow. Don't question anything while you're doing the session, because when you question things, your left brain is working. So don't even say, oh, am I making this up? Because that's getting your left brain to work. We want the left brain. We want to tell the left brain, you know, just go over there for a second, and we're going to use the right brain for now. And just, you know, just go with the flow. Anything that comes, any sound, any feeling, any sense. Not everybody sees things. Some people hear things. So you can't say that I will definitely see a picture. Some people feel things. And some, you know, of course, it's easiest if you see it, right? But then it's different for everybody.
Yeah. Can it be very stressful though? Like for you as someone who is facilitating this hypnosis, and if they get to a moment, even for yourself, you witness something distressing, how do you take them out? How do you manage that emotion?
We basically tell them that they're safe right now. They can just observe it. They don't need to feel it. Like, because some people feel the physical pain, right? Like I had somebody who felt like she was getting strangled, like because she was being hanged, right? So yeah, so she felt that. So basically, you just have to, as a practitioner, be quick to say that, you know, you don't have to feel it. You're just observing. You can just observe this if you want. Of course, some people choose to still feel it. They want to, but then some people, you know, some people will just adjust to it, and then they'll just they're just spectators from then on. They're just looking at what happened so that they can see it more objectively instead of feeling so intense about it, right? Because it's hard to absorb the lesson when you're feeling the pain is so intensely. So we just, you know, we're there for a reason, and it's because we want to learn the lesson and we want to release what needs to be released, and they don't need to actually feel it. But it was good for them to see it. You're usually not shown, or you usually won't feel or see anything that you're not ready for. So if you were shown something, it means you're ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very comforting to know. So from your experience working with different kinds of clients, then what do you find are the most common types of emotional problems that people struggle with? Is it anger? Is it grief?
I don't think there's any common one. Everybody has different lessons that they brought in this lifetime to learn. It's different for everybody. So it's all over the spectrum. Like, I don't know what to expect coming into each session. It's just different.
Yeah. So they come to you usually because they have an issue with their health or relationship or money. So I guess what are out of these three top life areas, what is the biggest problem?
The most common problem, not the biggest, The most common is somebody coming for physical reasons. They
Oh,
want
physical
some,
health, pain.
right, right. Because that's more urgent. They feel it already, right? Although lately I have many people coming for just because they know they need to release so much negativity and they want to stop self-sabotaging themselves.
Right.
So lately there's actually a lot of that.
Right. So do you find that at the root of this physical issue, there is an underlying emotional problem?
Yes, most
Is
of the
that why
time
you
there
are
is.
such a fan? You're so passionate about emotional healing? Because
Yes,
that
yes,
is the core problem you discover.
yes. Absolutely, absolutely, for everyone. Like if it's always related. If it's not, then it's probably some lighter issue. Like for example, you know, oh, you need to eat healthier, blah blah blah. But
Yeah, then it would
usually
be probably diet. Yeah.
there's
Mm.
always an underlying emotional issue. And like even with my daughter, like she didn't want to do QHHT because she's not doesn't she doesn't want
That
to give it time or
she's come here to give you a bit of a challenge, hasn't
yeah,
she?
exactly. It's always your loved ones are always your biggest challenge, right? I find that it's
Mm.
always hardest to heal my own family, so I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah. I see
But
this all the time. It's
yeah,
not going to be cushy, easy, easy.
yeah. I guess that's so that we can keep pushing to learn, right? And find
Hmm.
different ways to help them. And so like for her, I did pendulum healing for her, but it took that one time where I said, you have to ask me for this because if I do this and you keep blocking me, it's not going to happen. So you actually have to ask me or tell me that you really want this. And
Yeah,
and her answer was like, okay, fine. Her answer
right.
was okay,
Whatever.
fine. So I mean, I took that. I guess that's the closest to a yes that she would give me, and so like I mean, a week later, it just got turned around.
Wow.
Even even my husband was surprised. Like he was about to say, your holistic stuff is not working, blah blah blah. A week later, it turned around. So
Wow. Because that is your proof, isn't it? I
for
mean,
me, it's like my real personal proof, and also like for my dad as well. He was
oh, yes, yes. Tell us about your dad. Your dad had COVID, didn't he? Mm.
Yeah, but I don't know if he wants to talk about it. He
Oh,
might not want me to talk about it
don't do
because he's
it.
a
Don't
very
do it
private
then.
person. But anyway, it turned him around too. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to get into trouble.
Yeah, well, now he's a believer, right? And this is what you're here to do, one soul at a time. You don't
Yes,
need to
exactly.
go
One at
and
a time.
announce to the whole world and change
Exactly.
100 people. You do it one person at a
One at a
time.
time. I mean, you know what? Even if it's one person at a time, don't feel like for other healers, don't feel that you're so slow and you're doing it one at a time because we're all connected. If you release one emotional trauma from one person, you're releasing that from the collective because we're all connected. So like if you heal like even when you do like generational healing, sometimes like some emotions you find that they're generational. If you heal one person, you're healing, there is an effect on the whole generation.
Mm.
So you're not just doing it really, I mean it seems like it's one at a time, but it's actually many at a time.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, at the energy. This is where people who are not familiar with energy healing, it's kind of hard to wrap their head around that and say, what do you mean it's happening at the quantum level? Because that's what you are, you're a quantum energy healer.
Mhm.
But it's changing. People are more open and more willing to experiment. I think people are also very sick of popping pills and going to the GP or your doctor and they say, oh, well, there is no cure, but, don't give up, never believe every single thing. Well, here I got to be careful what I say.
Yes.
Have
Disclaimer.
a disclaimer. Yeah, we won't go into that. So for somebody who is having chronic pain, and no matter what they do, diets, nutrition, or exercise, whatever the textbook tells you, conventional tells you to relieve the pain, and they find themselves having that pain experience the pain over and over again, what one practical advice would you give to them that they can do right now? Kelly, can you think of something that they
I have to
can
think about
do
that.
at a practical level? If like you have this pain and you're so sick of taking painkillers.
Well, because like every body part is related to a trauma, right? So like emotions are stored, like every body part indicates a certain part of your emotion that is affecting it, right? So for instance, for liver, it's usually you're storing a lot of anger.
That's a bit like Chinese medicine. Yeah, that the liver, an imbalance in an organ gives you an indication of where your emotion is blocked.
So I mean, if they want to navigate this themselves, then they can read more into that and see what emotion is actually causing the specific problem in that body part. And then they will need to release it, right? And it's not as easy as it sounds, of course. And that's what we're here to help them do. But yeah, the key is to release it. And once they do, they'll notice a difference. And of course, there's, sometimes there's lessons to be learned. So you release it, you learn the lesson, and
have faith as well, and be disciplined, and don't say.
Well, I mean, the faith in it is not as important, because I mean, once you release it, then you really have faith, right? So I guess like you'll have faith once you see the result, right? So just be open. Because when you say faith, a lot of people's like, I don't have faith. I'm not. It's not gonna work
is that
on
what
me.
they find? Yeah, there is that.
Right. So
there is that
too big of a word
connotation
for
to
them,
religion,
right?
isn't it? When you see someone say faith,
right?
But I think there is power in believing, though.
There is, but it might be too big of a word for some people. So just say be open to it first. It's like, for somebody who has completely no faith, you can't tell them to have faith, right? So it needs to be baby steps for them as well. So like the first step is to be open, just to be open. There's nothing to lose in trying to do this. It will help you either way by releasing these emotions. If it helps your body, if it doesn't, it still helps you, right? So it's just learning to, let them realize that one step at a time. Because otherwise, if you tell them, oh, have faith, a lot of people will just, bye, see you later. We're not going to do this anymore.
Is that right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe, be careful in your choice of words. You're right. Faith, people associate faith with this like blind faith. What do you mean? I have a right to question, but be open. I don't have to believe it. Just allow it.
Exactly. Just allow it. Just allow it. And actually, if they allow it, they believe it. You're just not using the same words, right?
It's very clever. Gosh, with that very sound advice, can you believe we've reached our 30-minute mark, Kelly? You've done really well. But before we go, I just want to quickly say that if it wasn't for Kelly, I wouldn't be on Facebook today. Never mind YouTube, never mind watching this right now. See, this synchronicity of events and me meeting Kelly. So thanks, Kelly, for helping me clear this persecution program that I had held on to for like at least 1,000 years. That was why I was very resistant with social media.
And this is probably your healing. It's your healing process. It's like a tangible thing you're doing for your healing.
Yeah,
right? So
it's amazing. Sometimes there is something to be said about not overthinking. Let's not worry about what is beyond what we can see. And here I am. I actually quite enjoy doing this. So
and you're a natural. You're a natural.
Oh, thank you. So Kelly is a sensitive soul, as you can see and witness for yourself. If you want to find out more about her work and how she can help you with any emotional issues, or it doesn't have to be emotional, it could be money blocks, right, Kelly? You help people with those as well.
Yep.
And her website details are in the description box below. So thank you, Kelly, for your light and service to the world.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Bye for now.